So good. Ooh, happy to be in here. Closing everything down. Kind of random and in the afternoon. Well, it's in the afternoon where I am. Where are you guys from? Whitney and Shamari. Hi, Tammy. I'm drinking some apple juice. I don't know why. Hey, hey, Marlene. Hi, Christine. Hi. Hi, beautiful ladies. Oh, hey, Sylvia. Okay, and some of you guys you from the comments, like we're already sisters. Okay, like I feel you. Hi. Hello, Liza. I want to. Lazani, I think. Hey, I love all the emojis. And hello, Lebo Gang. How y'all doing? Well, guys, thank y'all so much for joining me for my live chat. It's so random. I just knew this morning I was going to go live and do a video. And I just want to share a word with you guys. Yes. I don't know. I love this stuff. Y'all know I love this stuff. Hello, Rose. Hello, Andrea. Before we get started, can you down where you guys are from? And also, if you have like some girlfriends you know or somebody that could get blessed, share it with one of your girlfriends. I love that. Hi, Ashley. I said Andrea, but is it Andrea? That's a good question. I don't know if it's Andrea or Andrea. All right. So, before we get started, I just want to say thank you guys for being such beautiful, lovely subscribers. A lot of y'all be commenting all the time, so thank you. But guys, today my word I'm giving is called coming out. And I'm probably gonna cry during this word because even when I walk through it, I cried. So I'm like, Lord, just let your girl hold it together. But yes, anyways, I'm so glad that you guys are here. And today, really, what I want to talk to you is about the story of Jonah. God gave me just this amazing revelation, and I was emotional. But today, I want to give you that word because I know it's going to bless somebody else. Amen. So, today, first off, before we get started, I want to just say make sure you are always signed up at my website, hisdaughterscloset.com. I post up weekly devotionals every week, and it really helps a lot of women. And so, oh, I see somebody's from Texas, but really from Africa. Okay, Hope, Arkansas. Hi, New You Wellness TV. So I want to just say that, keep dropping where you're from, but we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'm so excited to talk to you guys because we're coming from the story of Jonah. I know we all know the story of Jonah. He ran from God. He went the opposite way. He got stuck. He had a storm, got stuck in the belly of the whale, blah, 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 blah. Great story. No, I'm just kidding. But really, most of us probably know the story of Jonah. And so when God put it on my heart to study the story of Jonah, I said, wow, like, it's Jonah, like, what's going on with Jonah? Like, I know the story like the back of my hand. So I'm like, I know the story really well, God. But the Lord was like, but you missed something, boo. Bet you missed something. So I'm going to give it to you again. And so the reason I called this coming out, because, Jonah came out of the belly of the whale actually threw Jonah up. But God let me realize that sometimes some things aren't going to just throw us up and throw us out. Sometimes we got to come out on our own. Okay? And so today that's what I'm going to talk to you about is coming out of your well, coming out of that stuck place. Because most likely God puts us there for a season, but sometimes we get comfortable there and we're not willing to come out. Okay? So before I get into this word, though, I want to go ahead and I want to pray over you. And if anybody on this chat, anybody right here watching who hasn't even commented yet, if anybody feels stuck in their life right now, I want to just pray over you. And I want to encourage you that God still sees you and He has not forgotten about you. And even when you're crying, even when you're shouting out, babe, I know about it, okay? Like, even when you feel so stuck in life, God has not forgotten about you. And He is still encouraging you and leading you and guiding you. But I want to give you the tools today that if you feel stuck, what you have to do to get out. Okay, that's what this message is for. If you feel stuck, I'm going to give you the tools to get out. All right, amen. So the first thing, we realize where the story of Jonah starts off, right? Jonah gets a word from God to go to Nineveh, correct? But Jonah runs away from God, right? He runs the opposite way. What we have to first off realize is that it says that God spoke to Jonah, right? So there's going to be seasons in our life where God is going to come and speak to us. And there were seasons in my life where God told me to do something, but I did run the opposite way. It might not look quite like Jonah. Morgan go to the city and I ran the opposite way. But maybe God said, Morgan, leave that guy alone. But I ran the opposite way and ran into the arms of that guy. Maybe God said, Morgan, I want you to finish school and I want you to go do this. But it didn't really align with my plans and it wasn't my heart's desire. And so instead, I didn't do that thing that God was telling me to do because I had my own views. So, see, first I want you to realize is that Jonah did not want to obey God. And so he didn't. He ran the opposite way. A lot of times we find ourselves stuck in life because we ran the opposite way. And the reason we have to go through the storm, and it tells us in the Word where God brought forth the storm. He brought it forth, not just a random thing. God brought that storm forth, and God made it aware that Jonah was supposed to get thrown over the ship and get, ate up by the whale. So with that being said, though, we have to realize, though, this might have happened to Jonah, but what if it has happened to us? Not necessarily we got swallowed by a whale, but has you been in a season where you felt like you ran from God and all of a sudden everything that you was grounded on, where you felt safe because see Jonah was resting during the storm, where you felt good, you was kind of idle, you was chilling, and then God threw you overboard. Okay, He threw you overboard. And he threw you into this place that you said, what am I doing here? How do I get out of here? Why am I stuck here? What is going on? But see, it said Jonah was in there for 3 days, 3 nights. But you got to realize the children of Israel weren't there for just no 3 days, okay, going around that mountain. And so sometimes we prolong our journey in something because we are not willing to keep our eyes on God. We're not willing to put our eyes back to God. But I got to read this for you, man. This right here is where it got me with Jonah. So first off, let me see. So Jonah's in the belly of the whale, and he runs from God, which is disobedience. And we all know about disobedience. Definitely somebody to say, I know a lot about disobedience. Okay, so we all know that Jonah ran from God and that was disobedient. But God brought on a storm. Now, your storm and Jonah's storm might not be the same storm. See, God brought on an actual physical storm in Jonah's life, like a storm. But God could bring on a financial storm in your life. He could bring on a family storm in your life. He could bring on a relationship storm in your life. He could bring on a mindset storm in your life. God can allow anything, a lack storm in your life that's going to cause you to realize that, hey, I'm now in a situation that only God can see me out of here. Right? So whatever the storm is that God put on in your life, you may need to sit down and examine that. And when I did, I realized that the storm caused me to be handicapped. See, when I got out of college and I did so disobedient to God. I didn't want to do what He wanted me to do. And one thing that happened is I felt like I was stuck back at home. I'm like, this was not my plan. I don't have no money. I'm struggling. Why can't I get a job? I mean, like, things were just really bad for me at that season. And I was so stuck in that storm. So stuck in that storm. And I want to tell you what happened was, though, is that Jonah prayed. You see, this is the difference, though. Not only did Jonah just pray, but he began to tell God that you saved me from death. You saved me from all this other stuff. So Jonah came back. He said he turned his eyes back to God. But I think we have to realize that it's a lot deeper than just turning your eyes back to God. It's turning your heart back to God. And it took him being in that stuck place to turn back to God. And it took me being at home. Even though I thought I was walking with God and me and God were pretty good. Like I thought we were good. Like I wasn't sinning. I was, but my heart wasn't God's, if that makes sense. I don't know if you know, but sometimes we can get real comfortable in our walk where it still becomes a whole bunch of us. And we're not really bearing a cross or anything at all. We're just still doing our will, but we're still praying and we're still reading and we're still trying, but we're not really doing God's will. We're doing our will. So that's kind of where I was at with it. And so what happened was is that when I turned my eyes back to God, I had to turn my heart. I remember one night my dad went to work. My mom had worked nights too. And as soon as my dad left, I seen him drive off. I just broke out crying. Like literally all over the living room, all in the hallway. I was just crying out to God. And that was the first time I had cried out in so long. But it took me to be in a stuck place, a confined place, a place that I couldn't get myself out of. It took me being there to realize that, God, I have not been giving you my heart. And you know what? It was my disobedience that led me here. Now I'm stuck. And even though I didn't think I was disobedient at the time, God, I see it now. And so what happened is I reverted my eyes back to God. But you gotta realize something. Just because you start turning back to God, it doesn't mean all your issues go away, because none of mine did, actually. But something God did do, and He says it in Jonah. After Jonah prayed and turned his heart and his eyes back to God, what happened is God spoke again. This is where I had to drop the Bible, because you see, told Jonah to go to Nineveh and to preach this message. Jonah did not, and it never says again in the scripture where God talked to Jonah again. Now God made storms and things around him happen. God showed him favor in not getting killed in that ocean in that storm, but God never spoke again until Jonah got back on God's track. And God did not speak again to me until I got back on his path. And it took me a year, guys, a year to get back on his path. I want to encourage you today, don't take no year, don't take no 40 years, don't even take 3 days, because I want you to realize that when Jonah turned his eyes back to God, that fish sucked him up and God spoke to him again. But the thing is, God didn't say nothing new. It was the same thing he said in the beginning, what he told to Jonah in the beginning of the story. And that's what we have to realize, that when God speaks, he means it. He don't take his word back. That's why he doesn't speak very often. And so when Jonah disobeyed, God said, I can't speak again until he's ready. So there's seasons we go, like, God, why are you so quiet? Why aren't you active in my life? God said, I already gave you the word, but you were disobedient. And so I can't speak again until you're ready, until you're going to hear it this time, until it's going to change your heart and change your life, right? And so see, the thing about this is what got me. And I was sitting here like, whoa, God. Because you know what? When I was in that season, I was so stuck. But it was the moment I turned back to you and I cried out in this hallway till 3 o'clock in the morning, just boo-hooing to you, crying out to you. And then you began to tell me what you told me 4 years before, what you told me 3 years before, what you told me 2 years before. But I was too naive. I was too young to understand, or even I was just too filled up with my own self to grasp his word and to say, okay, God, I'm going to stand by it. See, I want you to realize that's why it's coming out for you. Because you got to remember, what did God last tell you to do? Did God tell you to create something, to build something, to go somewhere, to do something? And you didn't? And then you wonder why you stuck? Because that's what God said. He said, Morgan, I told you when you graduated to take that test and go become a teacher. And you said, okay, guys, I don't know why it kicked me out, but it just did. So we're going to keep going. But I think that's what we have to get first. We have to realize that God spoke to him he spoke to him at the beginning of the story. In the first verse it says, now the Lord came unto Jonah with this word. See, the thing about it is that's where Jonah's story began. Because we have been living our own lives before God gave us a word, before God saved us, before he showed us a vision, before he changed our lives. He first gives us a word. And for you, it may not be a word like Jonah got. Like, Jonah, go to Nineveh. That might not be the word you got. You might have got a dream, a vision, a feeling. You see something how do I say it? I seen something in my sleep, but when I woke up, the feeling of it was still there. It was such a feeling, and it scared me. I was young, but that's when I knew that what I was going to be doing one day. But I didn't want it. I didn't want it because I didn't understand it. I was living in sin. I was living with my boyfriend. I was not celibate. I was doing all things. So I want to tell you today that it's usually the thing God told you in the beginning that you ran from. You said, not me, not I. I've got my own plans. And see, years ago, God said, Morgan, leave college, and I want you to become a teacher. And he was meaning a teacher in the school, okay? I'm like, no, God. I want to be a teacher for you, okay? I want to teach for you. I got this call. You told me my vision. Why can't I teach for you? And so guess what? There was a chance where I could have changed my major to education. But I struggled all summer long with it. Like, I literally toiled with it. And I never changed it. Never changed it. And so at the end of my degree, at the end of my school, I could not get a job anywhere. I could not get a job anywhere in this area that I live in. And so with that being said, I struggled and then finally when I cried out to God, within the next few days, God spoke that word again. Go be a teacher in the school. Be an educator. And I was like, well, God, I got to take these tests and I got to do all this stuff. And he was like, well, do it. Get back on that path I told you. And you know what? And it made sense because, see, I was only looking at the teacher aspect. But God said, no, but the teacher is going to get you to a master's program. And that master's program is going to get you deeper into my study. You see, God had a plan all along, but I could only see so much of it. So back then when I was disobedient, he quit speaking. He quit talking because he knows his word means that things have to change. So he had to wait for me to wander around a mountain. He had to wait for me to, I had to get stuck somewhere for a year or two until I realized that my heart was not turned to God. And it says it here in Jonah. Let me see it. It says, then Jonah prayed unto the Lord and his God, unto the Lord his God, out of the fish's belly. See, it's time for us to come out of the belly of that beast, whatever we've been in. It's time for us to come out of the belly of disobedience. And that's what I just kept seeing, that God will speak his word again when you get back on the track that he called you to be on, when you are obedient to what he said to do. And there might be a lot of steps to get there, but you got to be willing to take one of them. If God told you years ago to create something and you've never done it and it's just sitting in an old notebook, okay? God is saying, well, it's okay. Go grab the notebook. That's step one. Go write some new things. That's step two. You're better now. Step three, realize you're better now. Realize you're more equipped now. Realize that you can do it now. See, God is going to keep ministering the same thing because he knows what he's called you to do. And when he gives out his word, when he reveals that vision to you, it has to come to pass, even if you go around a mountain for a while, even if you find yourself stuck in the belly of the well, even if you run from God's will, even if he told you to leave that guy alone and you ran right back into his arms, God says, I'm still going to bring you to this. So I don't care how long you run, you're going to find yourself stuck one day. And guess what? Things are going to change for you. It changes for you when you turn your heart back to him. And that's why I called it coming out, because I think you have to realize that Jonah got upchucked out of his place. But not many of us are going to just get upchucked. I didn't. And I wish I would have, okay? I didn't. And so with that being said, what you have to do is you have to make sure you stay focused and say, God, okay, I turn my heart back to you. You can have my heart. Now let's try this again. Let's start over. Do I need to rededicate my life to you? Do I need to recenter, refocus? Whatever it may be, that is something that you need to do in the Lord. Because I really feel like the thing about Jonah is it's not so much, let me move this person. Okay. The really thing I feel about Jonah is that it's not so much him getting stuck in the well. It's really what happened was, I don't know how to move this person. Sorry, y'all. I know we don't want to see crazy stuff. And I'm not being rude, I promise. Um, I just don't want to be distracted. So, anyways, with Jonah, I think it's not so much that he was stuck in the belly of the well. What it was is that God spoke to him in the beginning, and when he was disobedient, God never spoke again. God did not speak to him again. But the moment Jonah got back on track, Jonah began to see the hand of the Lord again. Not only did he see God's hand save him out of the belly of the fish, but he also seen God speak to him. God spoke to him again. But God spoke the same message he spoke to him in the beginning. So you have to ask yourself, and this was a question God said, what did I tell you before you ran? Before you ran from me, what did I tell you? What did I tell you? And it may be and I felt this just now, like, be strong and courageous. Be strong and courageous, and that's something God would tell me all the time in college. It would just come in my head, be strong and courageous. Be strong and courageous. Be strong and courageous, especially when I denounced my sorority. That came a lot. I had a lot of backlash for that in college, and I just remembered that was a word God would give me. Be strong and courageous. Like, let them talk about you. Let them look at you like you're crazy. Be strong and courageous. And that is what I want to tell you today, is you have to be willing to come out of that. But how you come out is you turn back to God, and then you say, God, what was the last thing you told me to do? Was it to live a dream? Was it to do something different? Was it to live out this vision you've shown me? What was it that you told me to do? And did you tell me just to be still when I took off running? Because I'm very known for that. God will be like, Morgan, be still, and I'll take off running trying to figure out how I can figure something out. So, God, what did you tell me to do? And I want to right now, I just want to get real open with you guys. I was getting ready to record this, and I had all this stuff planned out, and the Holy Spirit said, I'm going to take over it. And I said, go ahead, it's your channel. Go ahead, it's your channel. That's how I said it. And I feel like what really came out was like, this word about coming out isn't coming from a beautiful place. Just imagine Jonah sitting in there 3 days, 3 nights. He probably assumed he was going to die in there. He probably felt like he was stuck in there. There was no way of ever getting out of there. He probably told himself things about that place, like, who can save me from here? How am I going to get out of here? There's no hand to help me. I'm sure Jonah had some mind battles while he was in that belly of that whale. And God said there are many of us who have mind battles while we're there. But we have to be willing to not stay there. God says that when we're stuck in those places, we have to remember to keep reverting our eyes back to God. Right now, I got to give God some glory. When I was in my stuck place, I was able to create a ministry. And I'm like, God, why would you give me a ministry when I ran from you? And he was like, because I had already given you that word. So since even though you were running from me, I had already given you that word. So that word had to come to pass. So it made sense that you were also, you were going to write blogs and you were going to record videos. And although you were stressing out about finances and stuff, that's all you really had time to do. And that's what I did for about a full year and a half, a year and 3 months before I got a job. I created YouTube videos. I wrote blog posts. I did a lot of reading, a lot of prayer. Um, and slowly, surely, I began to realize that my well wasn't what I thought it was. I thought God just sat me here to just sit here. But it really was like God was like, no, you're disobedience, but I'm waiting to change your heart. And once your heart agrees with my heart, God says, then we'll get back on track. Sorry if it's breaking up, guys. I don't know why. God says, then we'll get back on track. But I also want us to realize that the story of Jonah isn't just about Jonah, although he takes up a lot of the story. At the very end, Jonah's only 4 chapters. And at the very end, it lets us know that when Jonah spoke, all these people, when he finally went out and did what God told him to do, all these people got saved for it. And so Jonah's rebellion stopped a lot of people at that moment. They still got the message because Jonah got back on track. So I want to encourage you to do what God is telling you to do. There's somebody out there waiting to hear your story. They're waiting to see your gift. They're waiting for your presence. They're waiting for you. And every time we decide to run from what God is telling us to do, I feel like the truth is that every time we run from what God is telling us to do, we find ourselves in a place of the belly, just stuck in this belly of the well. Like, what are we doing here? Why are we here? What are we doing? And then we are so upset with God and we're wondering what the heck is going on, And I don't know why people are so crazy right now in my chat. Okay, I don't know why you're so crazy. Okay, I don't know why people are so crazy, but we're gonna keep going. But anyways, guys, I just really wanted to encourage you with that message. But before we get into whatever talking and stuff, I want to say if there's something that you're supposed to do, I want to encourage you to do it. And I don't know you personally, but I know the Holy Spirit does. And I just feel like somebody knows that they're not doing what they were supposed to do. And for me, when I think about that question, it takes me back to that question before you ran, what did God tell you to do? Before I ran, God told me to go be a teacher. Before I ran, God told me to leave that boy alone. Before I ran, God told me all of these things. God told me so much. And then it was like when I finally turned my heart back to God, He spoke again. And I kept wondering, why was God quiet? Why are you leaving me here? Why are you leaving me to struggle? What's going on? And He was like, I can't speak again until you're ready. Because when I first spoke it, you wasn't ready. And that's what I want to tell you guys. Don't worry if you feel like you've been casted overboard, if you've been thrown into a storm and you're drowning. Because God says that there is dry land for you. And He will allow you to walk on that land. And you will be prosperous in that land. But you've got to be willing. Got to be willing to turn back to God. Turn your heart back to God, your mind back to God. And as I'm saying this, it's kind of ministering back to me in some areas of my life right now. I know a lot of you know I'm getting ready to move and I'm getting ready for this big move. And the biggest struggle with it is faith. And every time a challenge came up, it wasn't challenging like my anger. It wasn't challenging like my position. It was always challenging my faith. Like, do you trust God to get you through this? Do you trust God to get you past this? And the truth is that that was like the biggest thing for me. Do I trust God enough to get me through this? Do I trust God enough that His hand will be over me? And this move has challenged my faith so much, okay? Well, like literally so much. But I want to encourage you with that. And I want you to be willing to come out. I called it coming out, but then I thought that could be kind of, if I titled it coming out, people could really misconstrue that with something else. And so I just said come out. And I feel like that's the biggest thing is come out of there. You do not have to be in that belly. All you do is turn your head back and your heart back to God. You remember the Savior. You remember your Lord. And guess what? Things will change. Remember Him. Oh, that is so powerful. Like, Lord is like, remember Him, testify. Remember Him, testify. Remember Him. Remember Him, testify. Remember Him, testify. So I really want to encourage you with that. Testify. Remember the Lord. Remember what He did for you. Remember how He brought you out of that. Remember how He broke you free. Remember how you had that struggling relationship with your mama and He mended that. Okay? Remember, girl, because that's what's going to get you through. Remember and come out of that belly. Come out of the belly of the whale, the belly of the beast. Come out of that stuck place. Come out of there because I want you to be encouraged that the Lord will speak again when you decide to turn your heart back. But what did He tell you before? What did He tell you before? What did He tell you before? I think that's the biggest thing. What did God tell you before? And I leave all that to say, when God asked me, when I wrote this little sermon thing the other day, maybe about a week and a half ago, I was in my office and I was crying about this. And it said, what did God tell you to do before? And I built this ministry team and it was going really good. And some women had some issues and family issues too. A lot of family members died because of the tornado and stuff. And so we started to lose some team members. And before the team members were gone, I had this vision to create this course thing so women could get inspired and they could create their own blogs and do the things I do because I see a lot of questions. And that was something I didn't do because, things around me kind of fell apart and I didn't feel like I had that system anymore. So I just didn't do it. And so God said, well, what did I tell you to do? And I said, you told me to create that course called Blog Faithfully. And he was like, well, what would you know? And so as I started writing the course out again, I kind of forgot about it actually. It's been months. And as I began to write it out, it flowed so well. It came together so quick too. And so that's what I know I can tell you. Well, you know when the hand of God is in stuff because it comes together naturally, like crazy naturally. Like I called my videographer, I'm like, hey, you free? Can you make a flyer? Can you create this? Like it just everything was created in like 4 hours, and it was just wild. I'm like, I woke up this morning and as soon as I woke up, it was like, work on your course, like literally. I'm like, nope, I'm doing devotion, So I did a little devotion, and then I jumped into finishing up some stuff for my course, and it's called Blog Faithfully because I know God says there's so many daughters out there that have stories, and I have my story, which is great, but you have a story, and she has a story that's going to target somebody who actually needs it. Like example, I met this girl at the Pinky Promise conference, and she lost her father at a young age. And I said, see, that's a story, a part of your story that I don't have. I didn't lose my father at a young age. So with that being said, you can minister to women who have lost their fathers. Like you have a certain gift in that area. You have a certain experience in that area in dealing with that hurt. And you can minister to young girls who are without their father. I'm like, so every one of us has a story, and that's what God will let me see. And a lot of women want to share it online. They want to share it through a blog or a website. And so I did launch a course and it's called Blog Faithfully, and it's just to help women get their story out there, and that to me could be somebody's coming out. That was mine. His daughter's closet was my come out. I came out of a lot of depression, and I released so much in that season of that belly that brought me out of my struggle of getting in my office and writing. It wasn't in my office then, okay? Getting in a corner and writing blogs and recording little video content that tied to my blogs brought a new brightness to my life. So even though I would get done and I would finally hit the record button, I would lighten up because the real Morgan was still there. She was in a storm, all right. She was in the belly. The real Morgan was there, and I want to just encourage somebody with that. That you want to just come out and you want to let the real you shine. It's there, and it probably shows up when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and then you get to life and you get busy, and then the light dwindles back down. But you can keep that thing bright, and that's just what I want to encourage you with. And so um, I just keep thinking about it. The Blog Faithfully course is really, I'm only going to do it for the first 15 women because I'm just one person, guys. But I just said whatever 15 women want to help them create a blog, help them launch a blog, and just help them get comfortable with like blog templates and things like that. I want to help you guys with that. I get a lot of questions. If you're someone who wants to launch a book, you need a website to kind of promote your book on also and to bring your audience to your website. And so I just think that would really help somebody. If it's not you, then, maybe another course one day will be for your niche. But I really do think that a website, it's blessed me. My YouTube channel has blessed me. But the ministry has really blessed my soul. It's blessed my soul so much. And so I just want to challenge, I would love to challenge and put this challenge out there. If 5 women, if we could get 5 women to sign up for the course, as I know it's going to bless you. And I know it might be stepping out in faith. And trust me, guys, it's not expensive, okay? I'm not crazy. I know my audience, and I know that if you're just starting, you don't have hundreds of dollars. And that's what I talk about. I didn't have that when I started. I started very minimalistic. I was in college. And so I understand I'm not charging you hundreds of dollars or even $100, okay, to give you this. I just want to get it in your hands. When you get the tools, then you'll know what to do with it. And you'll get to roam and you'll get to do exactly what God has called you to do. And so, yeah, I said all that. I didn't really kind of say all that. But just come on out, boo. Come on out. Come on out with me. So I want to go ahead and stop for a second and ask you guys any questions. And how many people were crazy in my comments today? Lord Jesus. I should have called Miss Ashley and let her get in here because I could not block everybody. Or I was trying my best to block as many crazy comments. I see Miss Elsa pop in here. Hey Elsa, if you're still in here. Miss TJ, Nick's Encouragement Corner, Candy. Okay, we've got quite a few people popped in here. Um, so anyways, if anybody have any questions, if it's lagging, please let me know. I may need to get closer to the router or something. Anyone have any questions right now? Hi, Believe with Bobby. Hi. Hi. So, anyone have any questions? Okay, Tammy A, you're welcome. You can ask a question. What I want to say real quick though is not able to put comment in my chat, but it is His Daughter's Closet / blog faithfully. If you just want to go look at it and stuff, you don't have to buy now, but if you just want to go look at it and something, how can we stay positive / trust God when things look impossible? Um, that's a good question. That'd be challenging. No, I'm kidding. That's a really good question. I wish I could cookie cutter and say, oh, this is what you do, and it's hard. It's very hard. It's very hard when you've got to pay something and you have like no money, or you have $100 and the payment is like 1,000 and something. It's really hard. But what I will say is, I encourage you to keep the faith and to be willing to ask for help. That's something that I've learned over these years, is to not suffer in silence, because I would do that a lot in college. To not suffer in silence and ask for help when you really need it. Now, don't be someone who always wants a handout. Like, give me everything. No, I'm definitely not saying that. But if you're in a struggling moment, ask for help, and God will send help. I know He does, and it might not be someone you think of, and we try to conjure up how someone's going to help us. I do that a lot. Like, if I'm going to get help, who's going to help me? Who would be most likely? But God knows what He's doing, and I think the biggest thing is it's trusting Him, but it's also being willing to trust how far you've come. Like, you didn't come this far to just lay down. And that's what I always say. When the situation in my apartment wasn't working out, I remember I was like, oh God, you know what? I'm going down swinging. I'm going down swinging for it. I'm not going to say, oh, okay, well, what's going on? Okay, whatever. Go down fighting. And then when eventually, though, you hit your knees, you definitely start praying and just lay prostrate and just tell God, you can have the battle. Take this over. Take this over. And I will work my hands, and the Lord tells in the word to work our land. I will work my land, the land you give me. If it's a gift, if it's whatever, if it's this job, I will work my land. But just know that I'm here, God. I will work my land. And that's really my encouragement to you is if you're in a struggling season, work the land that God has given you. Work the gift that God has given you. Work that first. For sure. If you work that, then you'll be willing to work the other thing. Like you'll begin to see some traction, some movement, you know. And I think that's the biggest thing for me is when I find myself in a season that's not, or let's just be real. When I find myself financially struggling, okay, because man, I've been working full time and doing YouTube and running the ministry, but before I didn't work full time, and so I would be struggling, like really struggling. And I think the biggest thing that would help me was understanding that I had land that I could work. And so I helped create websites for these other ministries. I helped create social media graphics. I mean, girl, I was doing everything. Um, Creating branding sessions for people. Like I was still doing ministry, but I was doing that too. And things slowly began to work out for me. Um, Somebody said, sorry, I'm trying to read these messages, y'all. Oh, here it is. All right. I have to watch for my mom's phone. Oh, okay. All right, neat. Um, One thing I will say real quick though before we move on is just because you're Christians, just because we're good people, things aren't always going to just be squeaky clean. And I know we all know that things aren't always going to come natural. But I want you to be encouraged to go down swinging at least. Go down fighting. Don't let if they say no, don't let the what is the word it says don't let the day pass. No, I don't know, but don't let the day go by without you fighting for what God said is yours. Oh, Bobby, you sign up for the blog at hisdaughter'scloset.com/blog faithfully. If you type in blog faithfully, or it's actually on the homepage too. You just go to hisdaughter'scloset.com, you'll see it on the homepage. And then you can read about it and figure out everything you want to get. I'm sure if you're interested in blogging, it'll be definitely right up your alley. Um, just go down swinging like that. And you know what? And if it don't work out, literally, there's such times I said, God, you can take the apartment, you can take that, you can take the ministry, you can take it. If things don't work out, it's all right. We gonna go down swinging, and and I understand that something better is for me. And so I want to encourage you with that. Go down swinging, no matter what struggles we're in. If things ain't working out, don't just lay in bed and say, well, it ain't working out, or, oh, I'm not going to be able to get the money until, or I ain't going to be able to get that paid by then, or whatever. No, 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 no. Don't give up. Say, okay, Lord, it ain't working out right now. But you know what? It, time ain't came yet. If these ain't came back yet, then okay, then I'm good. It's time for me to keep going. I got to keep going. And I feel like that's what it is. Just go down swinging. If things are struggling in your life, because as you go down, you're going to hit your knees and you're going to get into some prayer. You know what I mean? So don't don't be swayed by the things in this life. And that's what I have to keep telling myself. Because I left my job. I let them know a month early I was leaving. And the closer I got to the leave date, I'm like, Lord, I ain't even got no backup yet. I've applied to 10 different places. I mean, I was struggling. I'm like, Lord, 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 asking all these questions. And then when the last day came, the other jobs never hit me up, which I did do an interview and stuff. So I'm waiting for the call back and stuff. I was like, oh Jesus. I don't know what you're taking me through. I don't understand it. I would have loved to have a job by now. I would have loved to been set up by now. But you know what? I trust you. I don't know how things are gonna work out, but I know I'm willing to work the land that you've given me. And me working my land is me going down swinging. That's what a Proverbs 31 woman does. She works her land, man. She gets up early and works that land. And that's what I just want to encourage you. Get up early. And I'm not saying no 5 o'clock or 4, but I'm just saying get up and work your land. Because that is going to give you the momentum if you didn't have it. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna work that vision. The lady talking about the blog, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna write them blog posts. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna create that thing that God's been putting on my heart. Or I'm gonna create that idea that just won't go away. That's what happens with the stuff I create. It's just a word or it's an idea that just doesn't go away. That eventually I'm like, I gotta create that. I gotta create that because it didn't go away. So I think that's my encouragement to you guys. I'm getting kind of warm. That's my encouragement. Um, Nick said, I needed this word. I told Jesus that I don't feel like he loves me because if he did, why would he give me this family and these neighbors? Sorry, I lost it. Why did I have to go through what I went through? Yeah. Ooh, that's something I think I've said to God here recently too. Like why you put me through this? Why you put me in this place? Why did you put me in these situations? But everything is to make you stronger. And the thing is God maybe doesn't ordain the things that happen, but what he does is he uses them to make us better. Um, Me not having the backup job, I believe God is going to use that to build my faith, trust him more. Um, me at 15 years old being with this predator, grown man, God used that as part of my story. Although it hurt me for years, he used part of that story to help so many women. Um, and so I think the truth is we don't know why we're in where we're in, but what we do know is that God will make the best out of it. Someone just commented, who was that? Miss TJ said everything works together. And that's a word in the Bible. Everything works together for those that love the Lord. And so as you love the Lord, things will come together for you. So thank you, Miss TJ. But yeah, like things will come together for you. And I will tell you to hold on, and go fight. Not physically, but fight. Fight with your faith. Fight with that word. Because one thing I learned is that people may look at you at the moment and be like, who she think she is? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. She's crazy. But when your fruit begins to show, and it may not show right then, because mine didn't, but when 2 years, something passes and your fruit shows, then they're the crazy ones, not you, boo. So I want you to just be encouraged that your fruit will show. And I used to think, God, when is this fruit going to show? When is it all going to make sense? And there's still some things right now that don't make sense. But I will say that God has allowed fruit to show. And so you want to be encouraged by that God will bring some fruit out of those things. Every area that had a thorn, every area that has hurt you, trust God will bring some beautiful fruit. And I'm not talking about no tangible fruit you eat off of a tree. I mean fruit in your life. God will bring a faith. He will bring a firmness. He'll bring a confidence. He'll bring a strength. He'll bring a support system. God will bring some things in your life that you're like, what? I can have that? Oh my gosh. I can have like literally it'll blow your mind. You're like, I can have that. Like I can make that. Things like that really do happen for us, guys. And so that's my encouragement. And I think me doing this course was really one of those things where it's not my norm, definitely not my norm, but it was something that was needed. And I feel like that was something that I said like I can do a course like that don't even align with who I am or what I do and my. But it's like yes, you can. People. There's somebody that needs it. If it's one, then amen. It's one. Somebody needs it. And so yeah, that's my encouragement to you guys. Girl, go down swinging. Come on. And when you come out swinging. Come out ready. Don't come out like, I'm just coming out and I'm too scared. I don't know what's going to happen. No, come out swinging. Come out ready. But you know what, Lord? That didn't work out. That situation didn't work out. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever is coming my way. If it's my blessings, if it's a test, if it's a challenge, I'm ready, Jesus. Because you are. You're ready to overcome your things. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going on rants. Oh, thank you. So much of that's the month for the rest of 2019. I hope some of you, if you're signing my email, you got an email, or my website, you got an email this morning. Go down swinging. You got an email this morning, and I titled it, Ready or Not, It's Coming. And I titled it, didn't even really go with the email. But when I titled that, I stopped like that and I almost erased it, but I thought, no, you wrote it for a reason. That might not necessarily tie to the email, but that ties to maybe the ministry, what you're saying or something. I don't know. And it was just like, ready or not, It's coming. And that's the thing that, and also to me tied to, I don't know why it kicks me out of my own life. Like it just doesn't. Um, so yeah, we got to go down swinging. And you just got to go. You got to be ready. It's coming. Great things are coming to your life. You just be willing to fight for them. Don't lay down and whimper like a hurt dog. No, no, no. Get up. If you got to get up and you got to crawl your way out of that pit, you got to fight. You got to scream. You got to shout. Get out. Okay, somebody said, how do you get closer to God? Why do you not get distracted from, or how do you not get distracted from Him? Ooh, that's a good question. I can't say I've never been distracted because I definitely have in my seasons of my walk. I've gotten distracted with just different things. If it was in a relationship at one time, it's been a lot of different things that I've gotten distracted with. But first off, how do you get closer to God is the first question to answer. It says, knock, seek and you shall find, knock and it will be opened unto you. So the first thing is, as you get closer to God, God gets closer to you. Okay? So you just taking steps and you begin to see more of Him. And the truth is, God is actually always around. He's always, like, you're actually, kind of like Job did. He turned his heart back to God. So what you're doing, even though you're here, God is still all around you. He's still with you. But you're focused here, and then you have to turn your face back to Him, and then you need to see all the things God is doing in your life. But it usually takes, it's your focus, like you said, distractions. So you have to first say, something I always encourage is go on like a fast, even if it's a 1 day fast, where you just give your heart back to God, and rededicate your life. I think that's where it starts. Just that's where it starts. I think that's really where it starts. If you could just give a day, no social media, um, no social media or something like that. I think that would really help you. I think that would really help you. Well, guys, we are almost 49 minutes into this thing. I did not expect to stay on here that long. But you know what? We get to talk and we get to talking. But I really hope you guys got encouraged and blessed by this little chat I did. And I hope you're encouraged. Just come out. Come out of your struggle. Come out of that place of not trusting God. Come out of the belly of the beast. Come out of all those things that you've been stuck in. God says it is your time to come out. And when you come out, you have to realize God is going to speak again. So when He speaks again, just do what the Lord says to do. Follow Him. If He says don't go there, that's not for you, then say, okay, Jesus, I really wanted to go, but you know what? I ain't going. Just trust the Lord. And I just hope you're encouraged. Also, if you want more content from me, make sure you're subscribed and you're following me on social media and stuff like that. But I just really want you guys to be encouraged. And I don't do live often, actually very rarely. But I just felt like today was a live day. I don't know. I just felt it strongly this morning. And I'm glad I got to get this time with you guys and to answer some of your questions. I pray you guys got encouraged and ministered to. But before we go, I want to go ahead and just say, if there's any woman who feels like her walk with God is a little, I don't want to say shaky, but just a little unsteady. There you go, unsteady. It's not as grounded as it once was. I want you to be encouraged that He's still there. He has never left, nor will he. He is still there. And fight the thoughts that you have that He's not, or that He's not real, or that He can't help you in your situation. I definitely have had those thoughts. Like, God, can you help me with this? Are you going to help me with this? I don't know how to deal with this. I've definitely had those thoughts, and this has definitely been I would say, I don't want to say challenge, I said faith building. It's been a faith building season for me. He has challenged my heart on a lot of different things, my life, my family. It's just a lot of challenges. And but what we do is, in our deepest, darkest hour moment, we just turn back to Him. Because our mind will make us turn away. Our fears will make us turn away. But we turn back to God. We turn back to God. And as we turn back to God, we'll see His hand. Thank you so much. Somebody said thank you for creating the ministry. Amen. It wasn't I, man. It wasn't me. It was Jesus, y'all. It's Jesus. So I just want to leave you with that. And I want you to know you're not alone if you feel discouraged, how things are going to work out for you. Things like that. You're not alone. And God will never leave you alone to deal with it. So I want you to be encouraged right now. That even if it doesn't pull through, even if God, you don't see the hand of the Lord in your situation at that time or at the moment, He's still good. So I want you to be encouraged that even when tears are rolling down your face, just remember that He's still good. A family member back in May, and I remember being at her funeral, and I was sitting by my grandma. My grandma was really crying, and I remember I was really crying. I was tearing up real bad, and I just was trying to be strong for my grandma, and it's my grandma's sister. And I remember all I kept saying was, but you're still good. And that was a hard word to say when you feel that hurt and that pain and death, the sting of death, at the time. And you're like, Lord, you feel all that. But I had to just keep whispering that you're still good. And I want to encourage somebody with that right now. Let's just keep whispering that God is still good. Even if He doesn't show you His hand, He's still good. Even if He don't do what you want Him to do, He's still good. And you have to trust that. Gotta trust that. And you know what? I cried creating this sermon on Jonah, but I didn't even cry about that. But I said it on the beginning of this. I said, watch, I'm going to cry. I knew I was going to cry, but He's still good. And I think that's all that matters. Is that God is still good. And I want to encourage somebody with that because I know that we all need it. Every struggle, every setback, every battle, every test, every trial, every loss, every gain, every valley, and every mountain. God is still good. And so I pray that this word blessed you and this message encouraged you. Because we all go through our own battles, we all fight, we all struggle, we're all trying to work our way to a better version of ourselves. And as we do that, as long as we never forget that through everything, God is still good. And since He is good, I will receive good. Then we'll be okay. So I just want to encourage you with that, guys. Well, guys, I love you so much. Thank you for joining this live chat, letting me take up 54 minutes of your time. And thank you so much. I thank you guys because, I minister to you, but you guys minister back to me. Some of your questions, I don't know who asked this question earlier, but they said, how do you trust God when things look impossible? I don't know who asked that. Was it me? Somebody asked that earlier, and I was like, oh, God, you're trying me. You're trying me. Because it's lately I've been God, I've had to say that 100 times. I trust you, I trust you, I trust you. I literally had to whisper that. My last day of work was yesterday. Didn't have a job lined up. All day at work, I was like, I trust you, I trust you. They threw me a little going away party. I was like, I trust you, I trust you, I trust you. They're all happy for me, and I'm over there I trust you, I trust you, I trust you. So I just want to encourage you guys with that. If you gotta whisper, if you gotta say it to yourself, you gotta close your office door. And I had to close my door 3 times yesterday. Just, I trust you. You are good. Lord, I trust you with my life. It's not even my life anymore, it's yours. Do your will, man. So that's my encouragement to y'all guys. I love you guys. Thank y'all for being a part of my YouTube channel. Also, we have the rest of the Pinky Promise videos will drop at the beginning of next week. We'll have the beauty fashion panel. where we sit down and talk questions about modesty. And so we're going to talk about that. That'll be at the beginning of next week. And then the following week, I'll be hopefully, not hopefully, I will be transitioned. And so we will get everything in order for that. And then I should be able to get back on my morning coffee and Women's Wednesday stuff. So I love you guys. I hope you guys blessed. I hope you're encouraged. Yeah. Bless my soul too. So yeah. Well, guys, I love you. Okay, so before we go, let's do a virtual hug. Because if we were real life, actually in real life, we'd probably all be crying together. Like, but yeah. Someone said, pray for my marriage. I'm going through a difficult time. Lauren Williams. Yes, Lauren, we'll definitely cover you in prayer. Lauren, I just want to pray. I want to talk to you real quick. I just want you to work on your heart. Work on your heart. I don't know what has happened to your heart, and that's all. As you said, I read that. I just said, Holy Spirit, what's up with Lauren? like I didn't say what's up, but I said like Lauren Williams. Lauren, I want you to work on your heart. If it's for a day, if it's for journaling, just for the nighttime, I want you to work on your heart because I believe that is a wall or let's just say a barrier, a barrier. Uh, and to work on your heart. And there may be reasons why the barrier is up. I don't know. But as you work on your heart, God says that you will see things change. And I'm sure, but also too, you have to realize you can't change him, or whatever, but you can change you through the Holy Spirit. And so you can pray for him and keep praying for your husband, but work on your heart for sure. All right. Somebody said, please pray for me. I'm working on setting boundaries with an abusive family member. It's tough. Okay, Shadia, 2000. Shadia, we'll cover you in prayer. We'll definitely cover you in prayer. But girl, let me not get crazy, but girl, protect your energy. Protect yourself, okay? Protect your space. Protect you. Um, Growing up, my parents would be fighting stuff a lot, and they would break stuff and everything. And I remember one time I was in college and I heard a loud noise, and I literally like dropped to the floor. I was like, and I remember my roommates were like, "What is wrong with you?" And it was almost like some PTSD or something. Like I didn't even know. I just was like, I literally freaked out. Like I literally was trying to Shadia. I want to encourage you to, like you said, set those boundaries, but protect yourself. If you feel any triggers, if it's an anger, if it's a fear, if it's a stuck feeling, if it's I don't know what it could be, but just protect that. If you feel yourself getting into those moments, then remove yourself. Go step to the side, step outside, whatever you have to do, just keep far away from that person because that could bring on some traumatic things to you, like if they were abusive emotionally, mentally, or anything like that. That could be very traumatic for you. And so I just want to encourage you to protect yourself, and the Holy Spirit will protect you. And I definitely will add you. I'll pray for you, and I'll add you to our prayer list for the ministry, Shadia 2000. Uh, okay. Keita Denon, you said pray that you will find direction for your life. Um, you're a mom and wife. Do you believe there's so much more? I know there's more for you. I know. If you feel it, then that's God telling you that there is something more for you. Kadia, you ever thought of sharing? I mean, like, I don't know what your passion is, but if you're a mom and you're obviously a wife, you ever thought of form of sharing your motherhood, your wifehood in some form? Or something you're very passionate about, like a gift that you have, something you wanted to do when you were a lot younger, something that you put off to the side, or you have an idea that don't go away. That's where you start with. Start with that, and also start, with turning your heart to God. Make sure God has got your heart, and then with that being said, God will give you more steps, and you'll begin to walk your journey. Um, okay, Lauren. All right, Lauren. All right. So just continue to pray for your husband's heart. Continue to work on your heart, and I know God will see you through that. He will. see this. Thank you, more keep Tina. Kita Dean and I are in the same place. Yes. Simply me, Dree. Oh, virtual hugs. Yes. But simply me, dry. I don't know how to say that back when, but I think you said you're in the same place of like feeling like where's your direction and stuff. I feel like the first thing you have to do is you gotta go for something. Before I started ministry, I was already trying other things. I remember I had a full area where all I ever did was like hair tutorials on my YouTube channel. And that was at the very beginning. And then one day I was doing a hair tutorial and I was like, I stopped mid tutorial and I was like, this is boring. I literally just said, this is boring. And I quit doing hair tutorials for years after that, you know? And so once you begin to try things, you'll see what you got. And as I was doing my hair tutorials, I always was talking too much anyways. And so then the talking parts aspects showed up. So I want you to be encouraged that just try things, have fun with it. My blog is something fun for me. I did a thing, an email where blog in your PJs. Like literally, I will literally stay in my PJs all day. Before I got ready, I had PJs on. Like I will blog in my PJs all day. I literally there are times I would have a good day from work. It was not sick. I wasn't sick. A good day and to stay home and blog. Okay, so like literally, I just want to encourage you to do something that's fun for you. And as you do that, you're gonna have so much great. You'll be good releasing. So what's fun to you? What's an idea that won't go away? What is it? Something that you feel like God is telling you to do? Try it. If you don't know where to start, if I know where to start, message me and I can help you get started. You know, like, oh, good, this is what I would do. You know, I could give you some insight. Just message me on my website. Also, if you're somebody who's into blogging, I have a whole course on that. You could try that. But if you're not too sure how to start, just message me and I will message you back and we can try to figure out something for you. All right. Let's see. I'm 16, but I believe God is calling me to ministry in my teen years. So, do you have any advice? Believe with Bobby. Yes, believe with Bobby. I'm pretty sure you have a calling. I'm pretty sure you're in the church and maybe something like that. I'd encourage you to obviously keep working on your walk with God in your personal time, but I also would encourage you to serve in the church in any aspect, if it's with the kids or passing out a pamphlet or something. If you're in the church, obviously, then serve in that area because working and serving in the church area, it pulls on different gifts that you have that you didn't even know you have. And so right now at my church, current church, I work with kids. I've been doing it for like a year. I work with kids, and it makes me really excited now to be a teacher because it's like, oh, I love the kid. Like I got real comfortable with it, you know, and it pulled on gifts that I really didn't know I had. So yeah, I want to encourage you with that. Let's see, anybody else? Last question, y'all. We hit an hour. Oh, people say I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Okay, we did some virtual hugs. So okay, for real, virtual hug this time, guys. I love you so much. Thank you for joining my channel, my live chat, and just being subscribed to my channel. If you want more content from me, you can check me out on Instagram at Morgan Tracy J. Yeah, that's how you know it's time to go when the headphone falls out. Morgan Tracy J, my Instagram, my website, His Daughter's Closet. If you want to know more about your purpose and your faith and things like that, check out my website. I've got so many free resources that you can just download to your phone and be encouraged. I think this is the most beautiful thing. Is girls in Africa who they like. I don't know why they write me all the time and say like I download your resources and then like at night I just read them. You know, like that's just the sweetest thing. I'm like, yes, God. Like they just read it at night, like reading things about God and words God put on my heart. So I think that's powerful. So check out the free resources and go get those freebies, y'all. You know, I'm about the free stuff. So go get those freebies. Love you. Virtual hugs. Bye. Goodbye, y'all. Love y'all. I don't know when I'm going live again, but this was a fun. I enjoyed it. And I shedded some tears, y'all. I didn't want to cry, but I already knew it. I was like, I'm gonna cry. I'm just gonna cry. Let it pour. It's cleansing. Yes, but I'll leave this up for a while. Love you guys. Bye. Bye, guys. I love you so much.